I'm so glad this is now being called out. I'm so glad that football fans are slowly but surely waking up to this nonsense, this drivel, this absolute trash that we have been fed for the past 4 to 5 years. It's why the series Killing the Game exists over on the Football Terrace. So go and subscribe to my main channel there. Hit the like button, subscribe, and please hit that hype button. If you have any hype points left, please get that done. It's so important for small channels like our own, especially when we're fighting against the mainstream media. And I think it's important to talk about this. And the crazy part is, there's a Gary Neville clip I'm going to play for you, which just shows a huge, staggering amount of hypocrisy. But I'm starting to see football fans wake up to this nonsense now, which is great, because we need to get real professional pundits back, telling us the facts about the game, breaking the game down fairly, unbiasedly, helping us to understand it even more. But to take a look, let's take a look and a listen to this clip here from TalkSport, because I do think this is absolutely right. But we need to listen to this first before I play the next part to contextualize everything. Let's take a listen. Okay, let me try that again.
Enzo Maresca not being able to conduct that post-match interview for celebrating is an absolute joke. For the fans, for the Jose-inspired celebration from Enzo Maresca, for seeing a manager elated with his team's performance and grabbing a last-minute winner, to not be able to enjoy that is doing my nutting. For football, it's the fun police. Okay, he's had an initial yellow for mouthing off on the touchline, early on in the game. But to get a yellow for celebrating, to take that emotion, that passion away from football, is spoiling the game.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. The frustrating element is this. I agree with her 1000%. She is absolutely correct. And my stance on this hasn't really changed. But for the past 4 years, football fans have been lied to by the same very network this young lady's on. Okay? TalkSport, Forbes, Sky, they have perpetuated a lie. That lie has then been absolutely engulfed by rival fans jumping on the bandwagon, to a point where football fans now, and it actually makes me sad, football fans now, and we heard this weekend, Yardman on AFTV state, why would I celebrate a win? I'm only going to celebrate when we win a trophy. Winning games doesn't matter. I myself have had debates with fans that then use things like TalkSport as a reference point. Well, Terry, you can over-celebrate just because you've won one game, or, you've won a big derby match, but they're still above you in the league. You haven't won a league title in 10 years. Why are you celebrating? What is there to be happy about? This has gone from being what used to be considered a cheap shot, a cheap jab, a no mark, to it's become mainstream, where people were silent on it. They joined in with it, and they've been damaging and killing our game for many, many years now. So thank God this was called out. And I've seen a lot of people, Jamie Carragher, I've seen Ben Jacobs, so many calling it out. One, he shouldn't have been sent off. Two, the fact he couldn't do the post-match interview. Chelsea fans would have wanted to have heard from him. I, even as a rival, wanted to hear what he had to say. It was such a dramatic and amazing moment. It is all part of the game we love, and we've been killing it for many years. But why have we been killing it? Because we want to hurt a rival, okay? This was just, look at this. From Declan Rice to Gabriel to Arteta, Arsenal celebrated like Europe's Ryder Cup heroes and looked like champions at Newcastle. This was something that I was staggered by when I first read it, because the tone of it is absolutely crazy. They celebrated like the Ryder Cup heroes. Now, the Ryder Cup was amazing. The celebrations on winning that historic trophy made sense. But this kind of, oh my God, they're celebrating like they're some sort of champion when they're not. It's over the top. You can go back and look at, this is Forbes, by the way. Forbes, one of the biggest financial and one of the most respected publications in the world, saying Arsenal's over-celebration scandals reflect the lack of transparency. Scandals. Look at the language. Scandals. Scandals. Everybody defending Maresca, everybody defending Chelsea is right. I'm also defending them. But for years now, Arsenal celebrating wins against other big teams, historic wins, large score lines, cup games, Champions League victories, was ridiculed, attacked, slagged off, and that article there, they called it a scandal. Scandal. Jamie Carragher, this is an old article from a few years ago saying Arsenal's over-celebrating verdict reached after stinging criticism from Jamie Carragher. It's, again, look at the language of these articles, and this is what people read. Young people, older people. And then everybody starts reassessing themselves. Oh, should I be celebrating when, my team's in the Championship? Should I be celebrating a goal that we've scored? My team hasn't won in 5 matches. We scored a last-minute winner. Should I celebrate? Is it over-celebrating? Is that low standards? Is that low standard while my club isn't very good? Is it me? Am I the problem? People have been thinking like this. I've seen people that are fans of clubs that are tiny, that have barely any money, talk about not celebrating things and being happy with a victory or a goal until it leads to them getting promotions and winning trophies. We have damaged, hopefully not irreversibly, but we have damaged the game by perpetuating this. And when people like myself were calling this out, glazing Arsenal, just glazing Arsenal, it was never anything directly to do with Arsenal, and that is what people can't see and people can't understand. It had nothing to do with that. It was all about, firstly, it was about protecting my club, Manchester United. There was a selfishness to it. Well, do you know what? I'm not going to allow lies to be perpetuated about a rival club, because if that then becomes the mainstream, that can be used as a way of attacking my club. And Man United have had some amazing, massive celebrations. I remember winning the Manchester Derby, Michael Owen's last-minute goal. Did you see the celebrations that day? We didn't win the league with that goal, but we celebrated it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did you see the celebrations with the last-minute winner against Liverpool in '99 in the FA Cup? I did. Didn't win us anything. The celebrations when Kiko Makeda scored that famous last-minute winner didn't win us anything on that day. But we celebrated it. I remember the celebrations, Man United versus Blackburn in the Aguero season. And I remember Ashley Young scoring a goal. Really good goal from distance. I was at the game. The celebrations afterwards were amazing. And that was Man United at our pomp. And I use United as an example because if at our pomp we were celebrating when goals didn't mean we were guaranteed to win trophies and we were the best in the land, where has this new notion come from that you shouldn't celebrate? And there was things like this that were being said. Now, take a little look and a listen to this. This was not that long ago. Let's take a listen.
Look, there's a lot of jokes made this week about over-celebrating. There's a lot of conversation had about over-celebrating. But it's a really serious topic.
See what Gary Neville says here? Really serious topic is what he's saying.
It's a really serious topic. I made a lot of points last year.
He's really kind of like doubling down on it being a serious thing.
Emotion, passion can sap energy. Particularly if you're just a little bit too enthusiastic. And that sounds absolutely crazy. But look it up. Look it up from a point of view. Speak to someone who's qualified in these things. If you just use up too much emotion, too much enthusiasm, and you sort of overhyped and you've ramped up those anxiety and those enthusiasm and excitement levels, you do sap energy from your body.
Now, look, there's probably some scientific truth. Like if you run around your house and celebrate, you finish here, oh, God, tired. Same for athletes, I get it. But why is it now when Maresca celebrates wildly, there's no talk of, well, it could sap energy from your players, calm yourselves down? No. It's not as if when Arsenal were doing it, or Man United were doing it, or Luton were doing it, that it was being done for every goal and every moment. But it was milestones, last-minute winners, huge victories against title rivals to get back into title races. It was normal. And what people were doing was taking a fact, because there's probably nothing wrong in what Gary Neville is saying factually, but it's being miscontextualized. It's being taken out of the context and applied incorrectly. And, you know, there are certain medicines in the world that are really good for getting rid of headaches, or might be really good for clearing up a rash. But there's no point taking a cream or a pill for a rash if you've got a headache. If you use it incorrectly, it isn't going to help you. It doesn't mean the drug doesn't work. And I've seen so many of these clips today, and I wanted to call it out here, and I wanted to give you my view. And I think as football fans, we are allowed to and should keep bantering each other. It should exist in football. But I think we have to keep pushing back against these lies, against these hyperbolic reactions. We've seen it title race-wise this season. 2 game weeks ago, Arsenal, if they dropped one more point, were out of the title race, according to the same mainstream media. Now it's their title to lose. Liverpool were built and winning like champions 2 games ago. Now they're in the middle of the biggest crisis this side of 1990. And can they get it back? Salah should be dropped. Viets is a bum, blah, blah. And you sit there and think to yourself, we can't keep being that polarized every single week. It hurts the game. It exhausts people, ironically, talking about this. There is nothing wrong with those kind of celebrations in those moments in games. Would Maresca have done that for the 4th goal in a 5-0 home win against Burnley? No. But you know what? We shouldn't be looking to take this passion out the game. We shouldn't be looking to take celebrations out the game. The fun police. Listen, you're allowed your opinion. You're entitled to it. Free speech and all of that jazz. But we as football fans must push back against it. Whether it's attacking our team or a rival team, remember what you're signing up for. And I do think we've killed part of this game. I do think we've killed an element of football. Or let me rephrase that. I think we've sent a part of football to sleep. I think it is recoverable. We can wake it back up. This idea that unless you're the best team in England and you're about to win a league title, you shouldn't be celebrating wins and bragging. That's another thing recently. Bragging rights. What do you mean you got bragging rights? They've been better than you for 10 years. So what if you beat them? It means nothing. This kind of talk's got to be shut down. It's crazy. Such an important part of the game. As ever, look, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. I cannot thank you enough for the growth of the channel. Only been around, 3 months, and, we're closing in on like 80,000 subscribers, which is amazing. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you soon. Peace.